Welcome to Help with Natalie Cuomo, the podcast about a girl who just can't help herself.
Welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. And I am so happy today. I have some amazing, amazing guests in studio. I have the lovely comedian Mike Recine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? My other beautiful guest, Shannon Lee.
Hi, I'm also great.
It's so funny. It's as if we've had this conversation before.
I know. Now it's like we're like manufacturing energy, you know, and like, but I don't know how people have energy. People have energy and enthusiasm.
If in case anyone didn't know, I don't know how they would. We've already recorded half an hour.
Mm-hmm. And our answers were completely different the first time around.
We were miserable. Yeah. We were grumpy and we wanted to kill ourselves. But now we've turned a new leaf.
Yeah.
So here we are. We were all having terrible days. We were talking about spiders. We were talking about eating spiders. And
you were talking about eating spiders.
I was talking about how I would eat a spider for Lewis.
Mm-hmm. There should be like a Dateline investigative series about how Lewis gets to have sex with so many women.
Gets them to the point that they're willing to eat a disgusting insect for him.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Women love Lewis, but why?
I don't know.
People have wondered for years.
Yes, I also wonder.
It's the confidence, I think.
Yeah.
There's so many factors. He's a salesman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fantastic.
Yeah. And that is an important skill in life.
Yeah.
To be able to sell what you're doing.
He's charismatic.
Yeah.
I actually was just talking to his sister about this like 2 nights ago. She was saying even when he was a fat little boy, he was slamming pussy.
Really? Ever since Lewis was 11 years old, he was he was going to the bowling alley, putting on a fake mustache, and just having so much sex with divorced women.
No, he's very charismatic. He's a magnetic person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Real man's man, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Mike, how's it going?
I can't complain. There's a lot of people doing way worse than me.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people.
I might have lost 2 wallets in the course of about 3 months, and I'm upset. I'm still upset with myself, but I'm choosing to I'm choosing to move forward. The thing with losing your wallet is like you go through phases of it.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm so fucking stupid, and then you go, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything in there was replaceable, and then you try to replace the stuff, and you're like, you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to kill myself.
How many times have you said that out loud in the last 2 weeks?
5 or 6.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes me feel better because I've said it out loud as well.
Yeah.
Shannon?
I do more of I do a lot of I'm so stupid or that was ridiculous or that, but I haven't gotten to the point of saying I want to kill myself. Not recently, at least. Maybe the way this day is going, maybe by the end of today, I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I have a baby too, so you just think of you're like, would it be better for this baby to have no father or a father who's
with
a
no
fucking
wallet.
retard who's just who's the stupidest person alive? Yeah, who won't stop losing his wallet?
Well, would you rather have no father or a retarded father?
I guess a retarded father is better than no father.
That's true, because if you have no father, you'll just be idealizing the idea of having a father.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also would rather have a retarded father.
Yeah, your retarded father coaches your baseball team, and he's eating the bats.
And that's the type of man that you always look for is a guy that's like your dad. So you're always looking for retards.
Right. I know that's a loaded word, but I feel like I'm never going to stop saying it. I can't.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I just watched this morning as I was preparing for the Real Ass podcast that didn't happen, that there was a NASCAR driver who was talking shit at in a post-race interview, and then was talking about another one of the racers and was like, oh, what was he thinking? He's retarded. Mm-hmm. And then the next clip is this whole apology for using the R word.
Yeah. It's a weird thing because it like you think like, oh, they don't know, they don't, but they do know. Like somebody with Down syndrome knows what that word means, and it like hurts them, you know.
And they're definitely watching my podcast.
yeah. You have a big following. That's your entire Patreon. It's just people who took their mom's credit card and signed up.
They found your credit card.
Yeah.
My YouTube analytics.
Yeah.
My YouTube analytics, it's 100% men.
Good.
0% women.
Yeah, mine's like
But that's
90% men. Yeah.
That makes me feel better. Okay.
That's probably what most of ours are as well. But I think maybe it's better if you can get the women
I've tried.
on board.
I've tried. I don't
But
know
they-
how.
Yeah. But they hate you. They don't like you.
It's not that. I think they don't like watching things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. It's them.
It's them. They don't like to sit down and watch. They like to go out. They like to play sports, have a
Right.
beer with their friends,
Women?
go to the game. Yeah, they don't like to watch.
Right.
They're not podcast people.
They're not. Unless it's like, about murder. Then they
true.
love it.
Right. If it was
They're,
about
like,
me
sick.
dying, they
They're
would
like,
love
if it was about you getting murdered,
yeah.
they would love it.
It was about
Yeah.
me killing myself. Then
Maybe
that
that
would be
could
nice.
maybe
for
that's
them.
your thing. You do like the murder of. You could start a podcast called "The Murder of Natalie Cuomo," and it's like a play. It's like a fun 7-act play.
I'm not ready to die yet. I think I'm going to wait a little bit.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, Mike, what's the
Uh-huh.
best advice you've ever received? And if you want to say the same advice you said about half an hour ago, that's okay too.
Yeah, I was thinking about this on the way over here, and I have received good advice in my life, but I can't remember any of it because
Yeah.
when things are not going well, you're like, I never got any fucking good advice. No one was ever.
No one's
ever
there
nice
for
to me.
No
Yeah,
one's
no
nice
one's
to
ever
me.
there for me.
No one loves me.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something? I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
There was that flood a few weeks ago or a month ago, and all my stuff got ruined. So all my old journals I'm pulling out, and I found one from high school or college, and it's just 2 pages of me writing, "No one's ever gonna love me," over and over and over again. It's crazy.
I think that's a place that we were all in high school.
Yeah.
I remember I definitely remember junior high school having a diary, and it was all that and poems about woe is me.
I mean,
and, yeah.
yeah, it was so dramatic. Anyway, what's the best advice you've ever received?
I guess it was just from another mom in my neighborhood, and she had a baby a couple months before us, and she had her in her stroller, and I was like, "Aren't you worried that she's gonna, And then she was like, "Die," and I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "No, not really." So that's the thing with we talked about before on the Lost episode.
The lost episode.
Having a baby, you just can't worry about it dying because we already talked about, if it's gonna die, it's gonna die in a way that you didn't anticipate.
Exactly. It could be, mauled by a pit bull. It could be eaten by Santa Claus.
Yeah.
All of these things that we may or may not have discussed 30
Yeah.
minutes prior.
Yeah.
That, this is actually what I say a lot. I think I'm a very anxious person. I'm constantly thinking of what ifs.
Yeah.
And those are never the bad things that happen in my life or the things
Right.
that I predicted. And I think I predict a lot of bad things.
What do you predict?
I spend every day thinking of worst possible scenarios. I think that's my full-time job.
Yeah,
but
me too.
it's
I don't
never
know-
those things that happen.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, and I live in a nicer condo building now, and so there's a Facebook group for the building. So on Sunday, this guy was like, "Hey, we're having a party, and we have all this extra food. If you guys want to come, if anybody wants to come down and get some food." And I was like, "Cool." My wife was away, so I was like, "Nice. I'm gonna free free meal. A free meal is nice, even if it's just a bagel and a coffee."
Yeah, why not?
So I go down and there's all these kids and parents, and the parents are dressed up, and the kids are wearing costumes. And I was like, man, if a mass shooting happened right here, it would be so bad. And I couldn't stop thinking about someone coming in with an AR-15 and just killing everyone. And I'm like, why is this thought even entering my brain?
Were you scared or just imagining?
I was just I wasn't scared, but I was like, oh shit.
So I think
This
that
would be bad.
I think that those thoughts that like aren't necessarily attached to the emotions are what they label as intrusive thoughts. Like, you know, when you're like on the roof of a building or something and looking over the edge and for a second you're like, what if I just jumped right now?
Yeah.
Like that type. Or if you're holding your baby and it's like, what if I just murdered them right now? And it's like not something you ever want to do, but something that
Or you're like,
happens
what if
in
I
your
went
life.
home and started watching gay porn? You know, like
It's so weird.
That won't stop coming into my head.
But I do the same thing, but it's like I feel like let me try to think of every possible thing so I won't be surprised when a terrible thing happens.
That's what it is, 100%. But you're going to be surprised because no one's creative enough to think of the fucking thing that's going to happen. I have never once predicted the shitty shoe that's going to drop. Like,
yeah.
That's what my therapist says. He says, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Uh-huh.
But maybe there's no
Do you think
other
in Sandy Hook, anybody ever had that thought, like dropping their kid off for school and be like, I bet none of the parents were like, wow, it would be really bad.
Not today.
Yeah.
They weren't thinking about that. They were thinking about bagels, orange juice, blueberries.
Yeah. And then sometimes you think about like you doing the bad thing. You know, like sometimes you think about like, what if I just like blurted out a racial slur to this nice kid helping me at the store or something? Like, or what if I, you know, and then you think like, what if I like I live on the 4th floor of a building. I'm like, what if I just like toss my baby out the window, you know? But
what's keeping you from doing those things?
I'll like pick him up and I'll be like, oh, I would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about like the look on his face as he's falling out of the building.
Comedian Mike Recine discusses throwing his newborn child out of a 4-story building.
Yeah.
Fantasizing at the look of his baby's face as a
for a laugh.
All for a laugh.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like you think about like, you know, him if I dropped him out of the window, he'd probably be like, What are you doing? Right before you hit the ground. But then once I like pick him up, I'm like, oh, I would never. I don't have it in me to do that. I also don't have it in me to get an AR-15 and kill everyone at this backyard Halloween party. You're like that would never happen. So yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know what the point I'm trying.
So
to
then, okay, we have this problem, right?
Uh-huh.
You think that your baby's going to die if you put it in a stroller.
Yeah.
And so she said it's okay. It's probably not going to die, and if it does,
Yeah, she just goes like, no, I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
So what's the advice? Like, you know, give me a little juice here.
I guess the advice is just like, don't worry. The advice is like, you know.
Cool.
Like, it's fine. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I think it's like wrapping up like what we were all just saying about like worrying pointlessly.
Yes.
Where it's like worrying isn't going to save your baby's life.
Right.
So why make yourself sick over it?
Right. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like putting him, there's a wrap, and I was putting him in it, and you're not supposed to put him back to belly in the wrap. And I was like adjusting the wrap, and then I took my eyes off him for a second, and I looked up, and his face, I don't really remember. I'm hoping my memory is like flawed, but I think that his face was a little bit like purple because the wrap went like around his neck. And you just, so like, you just think about, you know, if he died that way, if he got strangled, he would never like make a sound.
To be fair, I think having a child is the most like anxiety like producing. Like I think that people say that makes you the most anxious than anything because you love that child more than anything, and you're just constantly worried that something is going to happen to them.
Yeah, but there's also like a peace that comes with it. There's like a, you know,
of course, yeah.
So it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
There was a really, really sweet moment the other day. I was walking with Lewis and James, and we're talking about Halloween, and James goes, my dad's not afraid of anything. The only thing he's afraid of is something bad happening to me.
Aww.
I was like,
That's very sweet.
I'm sure Lewis is afraid of his dick getting cut off, though. I mean, everybody thinks about that.
Really?
Yeah, you think about like your dick getting stuck in a blender or something,
way.
or like I used to think about like whenever I would look at pliers, I would think about one of my testicles, like someone like taking pliers on one of my testicles and squeezing it.
I don't think about my private parts that way.
Okay, good for you.
Do you?
No, I've never thought about a wrench or any tool doing any damage to my vagina.
Yeah, I feel like my vagina's safe and, you know, tucked away.
You feel like your vagina is safe.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Shannon, what's the best advice you've ever received?
So I was thinking about this a lot also because I feel like when you're forced to think about it, nothing comes to mind. But when I was in high school, I was in a program called mediation. And it was like a group of us that, through all 4 years of high school, we like whenever there was a fight in the school, they would, before like suspending the kids or whatever, they would bring the two kids into the mediation room and then two mediators would make them talk it out without like them getting like too, being like shitty to each other or whatever. And be like, okay, so here's what I hear you saying. Is this correct? Okay. And like, just like mediating the whole thing. And the mediation teacher was Miss H. And I think she like changed so many lives. And now this piece of advice I feel like is hack because I feel like everybody knows this and everyone says it all the time. But the first time I heard it was from her and it was, you can't change other people. You can only change your response to them or your reaction to them. And I feel like that's just, we probably forget that all the time now through life. But I feel like that's like a solid piece of wisdom to kind of try to remember.
I like that.
The end.
Do you feel like there's a certain point that people stop changing, like generally speaking, or like that it's harder for, even if you want to change, that it's harder to change?
I think that the wanting to change is the most important part.
Right.
Because I think especially like once you're an adult, if you're never introspective or thinking about like what could be better about myself, if you're just kind of going through life like asleep, kind of just like going through the motions, then nothing is going to ever change.
Right.
Like I just went through like this whole thing with an ex-boyfriend. And the only reason why I gave it another try was because he was like, oh, I had a friend pass away recently. And so like I looked back at my life, which I've never done before, which to me is crazy because I look back at my life every second of every day and just stare it apart. But and then once we tried again, literally nothing had changed. He had like living his life exactly the same way. So I think you need to like know what the problem is in order to fix it.
What do you think, Mike?
About what? About changing? Can people change? I don't know. Do people ever really change? It doesn't seem like, I don't know.
Like you're in a long-term relationship. Would you say Deb is the same person that she was when you first met?
Yeah, maybe, but probably like a little better thanks to me,
So people change.
Yeah, but I think we're both
You're both better people. You make each other better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I always I feel like a lot of you do have to want to change. I think about you can't change other people. It's important to remember that you only have control over yourself too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because if you're like I have a really short temper, and like little things really annoy me so quickly. Where it's like if I'm waiting online for the bus when I leave here, and if somebody steps in front of me to go on the bus first, I am just like, it's like someone just like stabbed a family member of mine. I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? Where you're not, and in my mind, I'm doing all of these things where it's like I'm calling them the most hurtful thing I can think of, and like, oh, why weren't you raised right? And then physically attacking them. But it's like, there's nothing, if I said something to them, it's not going to make them never do it again. Right. They're just a shitty person, and I can choose to not make that ruin my day.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but it's possible.
What do you usually do? Like if someone were to cut in front of you in line, what would your response be, like, other than inside of your head?
It depends on like where my mood already is on that day. Like a day like this where everything's already going wrong, and then that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like I may be like, did you not see like something passive aggressive? Did you not see the line, or do you not know how lines work? Do you not know how buses work? Like this type of.
What about you, Mike? Do you have a temper?
Yeah.
I love it. Are you Italian?
Mm-hmm.
And you're Italian. Yeah. It's a room of Italians with tempers. Yeah. Let's go around and talk about how our tempers manifest themselves. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I think about revenge a lot.
If someone fucks with me, I remember my ex, he was like, Natalie, you have a problem where like if someone fucks with you, you don't just want revenge. You want them to you want their life to be fucking miserable, and it's not healthy.
You want to drive them insane.
It's not just that I want revenge. Like I want them to wish they were never born. Like I want bad things.
Yeah. And the Bible says not to take revenge, but I don't know about that.
It doesn't say not to go a step further than revenge.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, you like revenge?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't like when people fuck with me. I feel like I got bullied a little bit as a kid and stuff.
Me too.
And when someone, and it's like easy, like when you're a kid and you're getting bullied, you're kind of limited with the options that you're limited as to what you can do. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in middle school, there was a kid who would like he would sit next to me, and there were three seats, 3 guys and then 3 girls in front, and he would like come in and he would like punch me in the arm as hard as he could before class, and he would do it like a couple times, and he did it for a few days, and it's like that sucked, and there was nothing I could do because he was like bigger than me. But I feel like today, and I still think about this kid every once in a while, and I just feel like if I really wanted to, I could like destroy this person's life. You know, I could plant evidence I'd plant stuff at his house. I could get him divorced. I could write a letter to his house to be like, pretending I'm like his mistress or something, so his wife finds it. Yeah. Something like that.
It's delicious.
Like things or I could drive him insane. Like, if there's any kids out there getting bullied, I just want to let you know someday you will get smarter and you will figure out how to like get back at your enemies.
Have you ever gotten back at a bully?
I think a couple times here and there, but nothing really like creative. But I guess I was the kind of kid where like I would get fucked with and then I would like snap. Yeah. And then they would stop. But yeah, it would be cool to just like kind of ruin this kid's life, What's holding you back? I guess just laziness. I'm really busy.
I'm too busy. I do feel like, the rational part of myself knows that focusing on it just gives them more power. Just like I do know that if you hate someone, which is not healthy in the first place, focusing on them just gives them more power, just like gives them more control over your life. It's just what they want. So technically, you should just let it go.
Yeah. Here's some great advice I got. I had a therapist a few years ago, and he was like, when people are angry, it's hard to see that they're hurt, So when you come at somebody and you're like, and you're mad, but then when you're like, oh, that hurt my feeling. Like when you're mad, people get defensive. Right. But when you're like, and I did this recently, I wrote someone an email. I was like, that thing you did, I found that a little insulting. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. I sincerely apologize. So to me, that's good advice. When people are angry, it's hard to see that they're hurt.
My therapist says that sadness is anger turned inwards. Mm-hmm.
And then I got a new therapist, and he was like, don't let anyone fuck with you.
He was like the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I do think people are definitely more receptive to saying like, hey, my feelings are hurt than, hey, I fucking hate you.
They're more receptive to that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, like being angry just comes from being hurt.
Uh-huh. Like I think about that kid in middle school, and I should have been like, what I should have done was I should have been like, I don't like when you do that. Mm-hmm. But then I think he would have done it again. I think he would have kept doing it.
Is it like giving him power?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I should have, like looking back on it, I should have like taken a belt to school and wrapped it around his neck. Or like hit him with a stapler or something. I don't know. Sometimes you do have to.
There are situations
you do have to
like
retaliate,
maybe in a relationship, like a romantic relationship or a good friendship, you can say, hey, that hurt my feelings, and it's helpful. But there are unhealthy relationships with strangers or people you're not that close with where you kind of have to be, you kind of have to hold your own and be like, no, that's not okay. I'm not just going to be like, my feelings are hurt. Yeah. I'm going to like stand my ground.
But you should give people the benefit of the doubt, I think, first. Give them the chance to apologize.
Yeah, I think that it's like, like the quote, hurt people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but in your case with this kid, so this kid was maybe getting abused at home or something. And that's maybe a way to look at why he's doing what he's doing to you. But it's also, it's also not your problem. Yeah. And so there is something about like also standing up for yourself. Like if you would have just hit him back once, maybe that would have been enough to like let him pick on someone else who wasn't like fighting back.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I took care of that. Now he's beating up the gay kid. Now he's beating up nerds. Sucks for you, nerd.
Do you think he's listening to the podcast?
No, I don't. I don't know what he does. I think
you never looked him up on it.
Well, no, I think he's like a bodybuilder now, but I don't think we're Facebook friends anymore.
He's a bodybuilder?
Yeah. Yeah, so, hopefully God will take care of it. He'll have like a massive heart attack. He'll like take too much creatine and pass away. Pass away in his sleep. And then I'll get to post the meme of the guy at the funeral.
Would you go to his funeral?
No, I don't think so.
No.
But it's funny how you hold on to stuff.
Don't you wonder,
Like-
what things that you don't remember you did that people are still, really pissed about?
Maybe. Yeah. But I try to be good about, apologizing for the shitty stuff I've done. Which that reminds me, I owe somebody an apology. I'm going to text him after the show.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So my show is worth something.
Saving lives.
Maybe. I don't know. Were you bullied, Shannon?
There was one girl, I think I was maybe 16 or 17, that used to pick on me. That this is the period of time where I was in that mediation class, and they really preached pacifism and no violence. And so for this period of my life, I was really I don't know if brainwashed is the right word, because I don't think it was negative, but I was really fighting is stupid. We should use our words. And so it was one day when I used to work at a fast food place, and all of my friends would meet me when I got off of work, and then we would all walk home and hang out on the stoop or whatever together. And so this one day, me and all my friends were walking home, and her friends were also walking on the avenue. And then so she comes up and she starts talking shit to me. She's like, "I don't like you," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." All right, cool. And then she's like, "Cause I think you're fake and blah blah blah." I'm like, "All right, if you got it all out, we're gonna go." And then we walked, and my mistake, I put my back to her because we left, and it's I was 10 steps away, and she rushed me from behind. And then it was a 10-second fight, but it's all blank in my mind because it just happens all so fast. All I know is I broke a nail in the whole thing, and then one of the guys I was with broke us up, and after that, I was always still kind of scared when I saw her at school, because it's is it going to happen again? Is something going to happen again? Whatever. And that was through high school. And then to this day, I actually, at a party I was bartending, I saw her, and she's fat now. So that it made me happy. But she also has a family and kids, and she's doing much better in life than me.
That's not true.
No
You're an
way.
integral part of this operation.
No way. You're killing it, Shannon.
killing it,
You're beautiful. You're killing it. Please.
Yeah, and I guess you never know what was going on with her. But it seems like girls are pretty...
Girls are brutal.
Yeah. And there's a Facebook group for our neighborhood, and somebody posted that her daughter is in a van service to get driven to school, and there's these two mean girls in the van, and they said out loud that they don't like flared jeans or something, and the girl was wearing flared jeans, and then they said that her backpack was dirty. I was I want to kill these girls.
Girls are I was bullied so much in high school. I feel it shaped my entire personality. It just really, it's those are the years where you start to form opinions on yourself. So it just it just shapes who you are. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's they?
I had a
bully you
girl
about?
bully in 8th grade. I talk about this on stage, but I had a girl bully in 8th grade. I don't know why.
A girl bully? Did she like you?
I don't know.
She must have.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and her friend would just make fun of my clothes.
They liked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were your clothes make funnable though?
No, they were fine.
it
They were
your fault?
perfectly fine. Yeah. I wore an
Flare
astronaut
jeans.
suit every day. I dressed up like
What
The
did
Rock.
you wear?
I dressed up like Stone Cold. No, I just wore clothes from the Gap or whatever. And this was 8th grade, and they would make fun of my clothes for not matching. They're your clothes don't match. I don't know, it was weird. They just kind of picked me to
Did
to,
it get to
pick
you
on.
or?
Yeah. I didn't know what to do about it.
So how does that now? Are you a little paranoid about your clothes matching?
No,
No.
I'm not. I don't care. Although, yeah, I have a few things that I won't do. But
Right.
yeah.
Like what?
I won't wear Nike with Adidas. But that's just because I heard a black guy say it in a barbershop one time.
Okay.
He was
okay.
like, "Son, you can't wear Nike with Adidas." And I
Okay.
was like, I was with a friend of mine who was also I was working at Got Junk, my coworker, and he was like, "Yeah," we stopped in for a haircut, and I was like, "Is that true? You can't wear Nike with Adidas?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's just some shit you don't do." So I never do it, even the socks.
Down to the socks.
Yeah. Wow. So I need to overhear another black guy say it's okay for the curse to be lifted.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what if my kid was getting bullied by a girl. I don't know what you do.
You just ignore it. You slap her in the face.
If he's a boy.
Yeah.
I feel you gotta say something vicious back.
That's what I say on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do research about her family. Yeah.
yeah, girls, you can just I feel like girls are hurt more by words than something physical.
Yeah.
Right. Louis C.K., the greatest comedian that ever lived, has that joke about how like a man will cut your arm off, but your soul will still be intact. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then women like hurt your soul.
Women destroy you. Yeah, sucks. But what can you do?
Not
I feel like
much.
men are. I feel like I was bullied by guys as well, and that also destroyed me. Anyone who's speaking. I feel like I like changed my voice. Everyone like made fun of my voice for being too high pitched. I like started speaking like this. Mm-hmm. Everyone from musical theater camp was like, "What happened?" I was like, "What do you mean? My voice is changing. I'm getting older."
I mean, they're really stretching if that's the only thing that they have to make fun of.
No. It was my music.
Oh,
my clothes. I was too smiley. I smiled too much. It was everything. I was annoying.
Did you feel like you got it more than other people?
Yes. I literally remember like I went to therapy in high school and I was like, what does it even mean to be annoying? Like it was like that. It sucked.
do you know
They changed the school mascot to be Natalie, and it was just like a big cartoon Natalie that like fell over and tripped and like got set on fire, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's what she's like."
Oh my God, it was so bad. I literally like got rid of I deleted my whole fucking iTunes. It was so sad. All of it.
What kind of music did you like?
I liked emo music and show tunes.
Okay, well, show tunes, yeah, I could see.
The emo music they
But
were
the
really
emo
mean
music-
about. They're like, no.
But the emo music, was that like a little behind your time, or was
No,
that
it
because
was-
everybody liked emo music? I thought.
No, but this crowd, they were all like, no. You got to like alternative, like indie, Animal Collective, like that kind of thing.
Oh, because you're like a city kid.
Yeah, you
So-
can't be listening to Fall Out Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, because that's like what.
Right,
like,
and I was
lames
wearing
do.
like Abercrombie and Aeropostale, not in like a preppy girl way, but just in a like, my parents bought me these clothes, and they're like,
Yeah.
so I had to just, I would just be like, oh, okay, I need some fucking like,
Yeah.
I need to get some band t-shirts online.
Yeah. Soder has a joke about how he had to wear like champion clothes because he was poor, and then like his mom was like, "No one's gonna know where they're from." And he's like, "That's the only thing kids know is where your clothes are from." Yeah.
And by the way, I just bought a Champion cropped hoodie the other day for $60. And
Why
they
are they so
used to-
expensive?
I don't know. They used to be like at
They're, like, popular now.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Telco or just like whatever bullshit neighborhood stores.
I won't wear
it's
them.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like young enough that I remember like I was in ninth grade and everyone had a Facebook and like these girls like posted photos.
But it was called Natalie Sucks Book. They built a different website.
No, like these girls, they like took these it was like this group of fucking girls.
NatalieIsAwhore.com, and all the teachers were on it, and that's how they still communicate.
The teachers created it.
That's how they still keep in touch. They just log on to NatalieCuomoIsAwhore.com.
It's a really good website.
Wow, this is a really well-built website.
So but you're young enough though for bullying to
And
have transferred.
NatalieIsAwhore.com is built with Squarespace.
Yeah.
And you get your free trial.
Continue, please.
Start your
do
free
the read.
trial today
Do
on
the read,
Squarespace.
please, Mike.
If you need a website to say that Natalie's a whore, you know where
Actually,
to
by
go.
the time I got to college, literally there was a rumor that I stole people's virginities. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It's not a terrible rumor.
It's not a good one. Anyway,
Okay, so
But you just told me you're like, maybe that girl liked you, but do you think maybe like they were jealous? I don't know.
Anyway, on Facebook, there were pictures of me with this group of girls, and they would comment to each other. They'd be like, LOL, OMG, I know, right? Like making fun of me in the comments for like, it's like when you take a picture with the nerd or
Yeah.
something, and then you like laugh about it.
Right.
Fucking, they're still on
So
Facebook
they
now.
took
What if,
pictures
do you
with
think
you.
do you think it's ever like gone really far where someone's like, I just sucked this nerd's dick, and they're like, oh my god, like they do it as a joke. They're like, just let this nerd blast my ass. You know what I mean? Like you said when they take a, I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you think that's like a funny sketch?
it's really funny.
Like going really far. Like, oh, I just took this.
Yeah.
I just hung out with this nerd. Oh, I just went to prom with this nerd. Oh, I just let this nerd fuck my ass.
and then it's like, haha.
Ha ha ha. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just married this nerd with no prenup.
So I love nerds.
Uh-huh. Yeah, kids are no good.
Kids are no good until you're an adult. Then kids are nice.
I know, and then it's like
I feel nauseous right
they're
now.
all really, but it's like they're all terrible, and it's like they don't have any. They're all acting terrible around each other, and you just want to be like, don't you guys want to be like, don't you guys want to be more like? And then you try to think of like a role model, and there aren't any. Don't you guys want to be like more like Big Bird or like whatever it is?
There's no good role model. What's a good role model for a child right now?
Rock. I mean,
The Rock,
is
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect human.
Really? What's so good about
Is
him?
Harry Styles maybe a good role? I don't know much about him, but it seems like he's kind of cool. But it's like, being nice. You want to just go to school auditoriums and be like, guys, being nice is actually cool.
Right.
Because it is.
I feel like I'm going to puke right now.
Yeah?
Have a sip of your water.
We want to take a little break?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Just puke right here.
You want a bucket?
No, it's the dabs, I think. I'm fine. Continue.
Well, welcome to Help with Mike Recine. Today we're talking about nerds.
How it's good to be nice.
It's good to be nice. It's cool to be nice. Yeah. Don't you guys want to be like Barack Obama? Nice, popular.
Guys,
He's a good dude.
can we get into some listener questions for Colin and Mike?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because Colin was supposed to be a guest, but he got too drunk and he overslept.
Yeah. Fucking
So.
Irish.
If you want to pretend to be Colin, that's fine as well.
Okay.
But you don't have to. How can I find Colin's crowd work album?
I don't know. I never made one. It's just I just pretended to do a special. But I can't even do crowd work. I can't even speak English. I don't know because I don't know how to read. I just learned how to peel potatoes and get drunk and sleep in the park.
I feel like it's getting better as you go.
Keep going. Wait. Make the case for which white is worse, Italian or Irish?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think we're both probably bad in different ways.
I really like the Colin voice. It soothes me.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, the Irish are terrible. We boil all our food, and I don't know much about the Irish.
He always says the Irish are ugly.
I'd say I don't think.
I don't think so either, but it's a thing he says.
Yeah.
By the way, the impression is turning into the old man from Pet Sematary. That's it's kind of morphing into that.
All right. Well, what's the weirdest place, Shannon? Well, what's the weirdest place that you've come? Anyone can answer.
I don't know. I'm pretty meat and potatoes on where I come. Mm-hmm. I don't have I'm not like
nothing fun.
Well, nothing fun, but I don't know. It's been so long since I've come anywhere that's not with my wife or in the next room while she's asleep.
You and your wife don't come somewhere fun together?
Like where? Like the library? I don't know. I feel like all that stuff is kind of.
Shannon?
I mean,
You know what I was thinking? We were at the airport and we flew to San Diego and we had the baby. So, but I feel like it'd be fun to, instead of joining the Mile High Club, I feel like it'd be fun to fuck your wife in one of those lactation rooms.
I feel you. The family,
breast pumping room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Skankfest is coming up, and I think on the way there, everyone can have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell them Mike Recine sent you. when security arrests you and asks you what you're doing in the lactation room, tell them that your pal Mike Recine, it's the Mike Recine challenge.
I mean, these questions just suck. They just suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't even want to waste our time.
Yeah. I think the longer you do comedy and podcasting, the less respect you have for the people who listen. You know, you're like, oh man, my fans, my listeners, and then you go, you don't know anything.
Well,
You don't have no fucking business telling me anything.
keep going.
You are fucking a bug. You're a worm.
Yeah.
You're nothing to me.
Yeah.
You couldn't last fucking 2 months in my arena.
Keep going.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
Okay.
I'm a failure. Clubs were closed for the past year.
That's right.
You piece of shit. Sorry, I'm going to move a little furniture, provide for my family. What the fuck do? You wouldn't last 2 days on the trucks.
On the trucks. Shannon, what would you tell them?
To the shitty fans.
Well, they're not shitty. They're just
They're shitty.
There are shitty.
No, they're the
ones.
scum of the earth. No, there are.
All
There's,
fans-
no. There's great ones and
there's nice
terrible
people.
ones. Yeah, a lot of them are very nice people.
Yeah.
But you know.
So is there anything that you want to plug coming up?
Yeah. If you live in Atlanta, I'll be at the Roll Call Theater November 19th, and with two shows. Ticket link will be in my social media bio, and then you can follow me on Twitter at Mike Recine and Instagram Recine.Mike.
Shannon?
You can follow me on Instagram at Shannon Lee 6982 and listen to my podcast, The Thing Is. Dang, we talk about bad dates, fighting, and ghosts. And Natalie and Mike have both been on the show. And actually, Mike and James Mattern got into a fight about ghosts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he was like, I'm scared of ghosts, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it made you angry.
Yeah.
It made you legitimately angry?
Yeah, it got a little heated. Yeah.
Oh, it did?
You don't remember?
It was a while ago.
I don't remember. I mean, it's just when people are like, oh, ghosts. I'm like, well, what is a ghost going to do to you? I'm not anti-ghost. I respect ghosts. I have all the respect for
You can
ghosts.
say retard, but you can't not like ghosts.
Yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to be like ghosts aren't real. But it's like, if I saw a ghost, I don't think it would scare me.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't not believe in ghosts.
You're agnostic.
But I wouldn't be like, oh my God, a spooky ghost. I'd be like, all right, it's a ghost.
Do you believe in
Oh,
ghosts?
okay, that's a lady with some unfinished whatever.
I am.
Her soul's wandering the world.
I am open to believing it, but I don't have hard proof on my own, which is like what led to the segment on the show, is because I want to hear other people's experiences, but I want to like experience it for myself. And it's really just for the purpose of like, you know, that selfish thing of like, I want to know that like after we die, maybe there's something else.
Aw.
Is really what it
Do you
comes
feel
down
that way?
to. I would like to. I would like to believe that.
My wife said she saw a ghost when she was playing hide and seek with her cousins, like on a farm upstate, and like there was like a little boy in a white T-shirt that like ran past her or something, and
That's good.
she was like, "Oh, that was a ghost." But it's like, okay, all right, you're a little boy, your gut probably killed in some accident or something.
But doesn't that
And,
isn't that like the exciting part of that is to know that maybe, unless it's like a residual where it's just like energy replaying itself, like if it's an intelligence, then maybe it's not just like dead lights out. There's like something exciting about that.
Yeah.
You hate this topic.
But that sucks. You just have to be a kid forever, and you just play.
See, but
hide and seek.
I think it's like an in-between stage.
Yeah.
Like before you move on to like whatever is like the fine, or like if it's reincarnation or whatever, like maybe there's a period of time where you're not ready to let go of here yet. So you kind of hang around a little bit. Maybe you don't know yet, or maybe you have to learn more stuff before you move on. To the
I
next
just feel
thing.
like, to me, it's crazy to think that we know anything about like what happens. So that's like, it's like the what if thing. It's like, we don't know how your kid's going to die.
It's
Or
gonna
if,
happen.
or if. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
or if.
Or he'll be like 100 years old, and he'll die peacefully in his sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you guys so much for doing my podcast.
It was fun.
It was fun. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for lying.
Every podcast, most podcasts are fun.
Okay.
Yeah, this was fun.
I've done one that I wanted to murder myself the whole time. I was
Why?
like, why are we doing this?
Which one?
I'm not going to say. But
Will you say when we finish?
yes. So when I went on, and it was like, I didn't listen to any of his shows beforehand. I just agreed to it. And the first like 20 minutes, he was kind of preaching about like why he kind of knows things. Like he thinks he's got it all figured out. And then halfway through it, he's like, okay, so now pretend you're the host. What questions do you want to ask me? Like, what?
Oh my God. Let's do some role play here.
It's like, so basically, let's just make the whole show about like me, the host, which is crazy. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have any I don't care. I don't have any questions.
Bizarre.
It was a miserable experience.
What's the worst podcast experience you've ever had really quickly?
It was just one of my own podcasts that we recorded and never released, and my co-host had a guest that he wanted to talk to, and she didn't give us very much.
He wanted to fuck
with.
her or something.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, you guys, this has been another episode
If
of
it was bad, I would have said something.
Help with Natalie Cuomo. I really appreciate you all for listening. Hope you got some advice that you can take home to your kids. See you at Skankfest. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Help with Natalie Cuomo. Tune in next week for another episode. Find us on social media at Help with Natalie.